Invading the internet, covering Web 2.0, coast to coast, worldwide, and everywhere in between. This is where you put the social in social media. We are Social Blade.
Greetings and hello, everybody, on this beautiful, wonderful, and audacious. What night is it? Thursday night. This is Thursday in October, and it's beautiful, and it's almost October because it's September. What an intro! Hi, guys. How's everybody doing today?
Yeah.
I can say whatever I want because I'm frozen. You can't see me. I'm in transit to my home studio office, and so in the meantime, I'm just going to make a surprised face and pretend like it's moving.
It's a good expression.
We have a very special guest for this, which is episode number 59. That guest will be actually our last story, and just to give you a little hint, he hasn't moved in over 100 years. But until then, I'll introduce myself. I am one of the co-hosts of the Social Blade Show, and I am J.D. Rucker.
I'm Aaron Ryan.
I'm Jason Ergo.
And I'm Jeff Kreider.
And it really still is only September. For those of you who
But it
freaked
is
out
fall.
and thought maybe you were part of an alien abduction, it is September 23rd. I have confirmed. It is a Thursday, and this really is episode number 59. You're not losing your mind. October, I get to meet. I'm so excited because I get to meet Mr. Kreider in person. I've already met Ergo in person once, and that was an awful experience. But I do get to meet Mr. Kreider and Ms. Ryan in October. We're going to be meeting in Las Vegas for some social media goodness. Aaron's going to bring 45 video cameras, and we're going to be broadcasting from Blog World and Driving Sales and various other amazing places. We could, however, if we wanted to, we could probably fly a private jet and go to school in Newark, New Jersey, thanks to one very generous Facebook founder. Tell us more, Aaron.
That's right. For all you that hate, what did you call it last week? Zuck suck? Ergo, unfortunately, he did. It's a true story. But for all of you that don't like Mark out there, he's actually doing, for the first time, donating $100 million to improve the long-troubled public schools in Newark. And he's actually partnering up with government, since it is a, I guess, state-owned school. Now, I don't know what that's about, because in Canada, we don't have that. We have Board of Education. But apparently, which we do, but I guess this is owned by the state, and there is no Board of Education, and this school has been actually doing very poorly in the educational system. And so he's going to help them out. He is teaming up with these two other men, and they're going to announce it this Friday on Oprah Winfrey. Yay! Clap, cheer. Yeah, on Oprah Winfrey Show this Friday, tomorrow. So, I mean, he's giving this $100 million. It's the first time he's ever really given anything after making $2 billion, reportedly, last year from Forbes magazine. So this is kind of a big deal. And I'm actually really happy that he's doing this because what I like is that first time he's giving back, but he's choosing the education system. He's choosing the younger generation. I don't know, because we always think that Zuckerberg has a theory behind what he does. But I think this is out of the goodness of his heart, and I'm glad that he chose education. And the reason why he's going on Oprah is, she's helped out a lot of schools, and she's welcomed him as well as the two political guys to go on and talk about it. What do you guys think about it? Do you think that there's something behind it, or that he's actually doing something that's good? Because, I'll tell you something.
Go ahead, Aaron.
Sorry, just real quick. They lost $4 million because of a federal education grant that was a clerical error. So this is partly why he's giving to this particular school district in Jersey. So let's just put that out there, too. Go ahead, JD.
I think it's a publicity stunt. Anything that Mark does is there's got to be a zucked up reason behind. No, I'm just kidding. I'm glad.
That's pretty good.
Let's just say
if his intentions are real and he really first off, okay, so it does make sense that it would be real because it's such an odd and obscure type of donation. It's kind of like one of those whimsical You know, like, I mean, you just don't get people that go out and say, I think I'm going to pick out a school district. You know, they usually do something like that, or at least make it their homes, or whatever. I don't know.
Well, they better.
Yeah, I mean, it's something that someone had to have done research and really come to him and said this would be a great opportunity for you to do something and really turn around Facebook's image. I do agree with JD and think it is a calculated move and part of the larger plan in trying to change around Facebook's image of really not caring about anyone but itself.
I disagree. You know, the mayor of Jersey.
Somebody, I'm telling you, look, we're going to scoop this story right now. Somebody in Newark has some pictures or some video of Zuckerberg doing something. And
maybe there's some little Zuckies
donating. I mean, it's not like, it's a school district. You give them $3 million so that they can put on a few extra bake sales. You don't give them $100 million. Okay. With that said, I'm not gonna allow my anti Zuckerberg bias to cloud my judgment. It is kind of a weird one, but I will give him the benefit of the doubt and say, you know what? Maybe this really truly is just a odd but good move by a guy who is who. And keep in mind, I'm not one of those ones who thinks, well, if they do it with bad intentions in their hearts, if they're doing it as a calculated PR move, then it's tainted. I'm not like that. If you're going to give money, great, and it's going to charity, great. Then and you get positive PR out of it, awesome. Good for you.
The fact that he's going on Oprah too.
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
America's Couch. It's America's Couch, basically.
He's already really.
If he was doing it out of the kindness of his heart, he seriously would be, hey, I'm giving it you guys $100 million. I don't need all the publicity. I'm doing it out of the kindness of my heart. But it is a calculated move on Facebook's part to have him donate this $100 million to children. And to sit on Oprah's couch.
Right before
being on Oprah's couch makes everything better.
It's right before the Facebook movie, so
we already know that Ruck doesn't like Zuck. Okay, but they met the mayor. I understand that. No, I completely understand that, and I mean, I can see that. But at the same time, I mean, regardless of what the motives are, because everybody does something for something. I mean. That's the way, unfortunately, our society is, but it's still going to help these children that's in a really horrible school and be able to work with the politicians there that he has no connections to. The only connection is that he met the mayor at a conference, and the mayor started talking about, what was going on within their school district and, the horrible things that happened with the clerical error and losing $400 million as a grant towards the school. And for the first time, he's deciding to give money back publicly. He's choosing a school. Now, Oprah, of course, loves education. If anybody ever watched Oprah, that's what first and foremost. She loves education. She gives back all the time to the educational system. And so, reality is, whatever his motive is, I'm for it. We know Ruck does not like that.
Well, obviously, but I mean, he met the guy back in July. I mean, if it really hit him true then, and he really wanted to give the money, personally, he would have done it at that time period. But it brings up a good point with the movie coming out, with everything that happened with Facebook over the summer, and it really does feel like a calculated move on his part to show Facebook. Show a different light of Facebook and try to improve Facebook's image through philanthropy. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a good move, and that money will go to great things. But I definitely think it is a move on Facebook's part to really change the way people perceive them.
Okay, so you have to keep that in mind though to other celebrities. No, like Angelina Jolie, who's always up on CNN and she's always talking about and saving the children of different poor countries. I mean, really, the motives isn't really what it comes down to. It's what he's actually going to do. So, I mean, I'd like to see more about this story and what that money's going to go to.
It'll be interesting if he starts donating. I mean, he's worth, $6.2 billion? I mean, it'll be interesting to see if he keeps donating or, why hasn't he in the past donated and started to get into philanthropy in some respect.
Well, it's a good move.
I agree. Hey, am I still talking, by the way?
Yes.
Okay, cool. I'll be on Frozen here soon. I just I just want to make sure that you can see what I'm doing on the screen right now.
So we just did a quick poll of the audience here, and it looks like 75%, or well, poll results are changing a little here, but no one has said that it was a purely selfless move. There's a mix between being a calculated move and it being a mix, but calculated move is definitely the majority of the audience is agreeing on that.
Yeah, I mean it's fine. Like I said, I'm not one. I don't begrudge anyone who gives money with good intentions and then positions the giving of that money in a way that gives them publicity. I know it's not ideal, but what I don't want is, what I wouldn't want is, we got to do something. We got the Facebook movie coming out. It makes Mark look like he's an absolute moron, jerk, and idiot. Let's do something to diffuse that. How much money you got in your pocket? $100 million? Okay, well, go give that to a school district real quick.
Absolutely.
You know, or pick out a charity. Well, I talked to this guy in Newark. Whatever. I don't know. I mean, I guess it doesn't matter. Good for the school. Good for Facebook. Good for Mark. And with that said, today's episode is brought to you by the Social Network movie. It's all true.
No.
It's all true.
It actually is getting amazing reviews. Everybody's loving it.
I'm
All the critics
so
are loving
excited to see it.
Yeah, I want to check that out. But there's another site out there also that I don't know. I still think it's better, or at least in some ways, than Facebook. And they've got some little bit of news this week as well. If you use Twitter at all, there might be some analytics coming out to you soon. And I say might because this might turn into just something for businesses and advertisers. But Twitter has confirmed this week at a conference in San Francisco, a sports marketing summit, that they're working on an analytics product for the real time based off of a company they acquired a little while back called Trendy. And they're saying that it's going to be leveraging algorithms similar to the Twitter resonance concept, which that was the product that they were going to use for their text ad marketing that determined, if a tweet was being clicked on enough and retweeted more than the average. So they're going to be using that same type of logic and sort of presenting that information to people through this dashboard that they're working on here. So at the moment it's just in beta and they've only given it to select users, and it's not known if it's going to be something open to the public in general like Google Analytics is. So, people use Google Analytics to monitor if their AdWord campaigns are doing well. It might be something that's just offered to advertisers on Twitter, but who knows? Maybe it'll be open to everyone. But I think
it's still good.
Yeah, it's a good thing. Go ahead, JD. Sorry.
I was going to say, it's still either way. I mean, whether it's for regular people or business, regular people aren't going to care so much. So let's just assume that businesses are the ones that are going to be most affected by this. This really, I think it comes down to whether or not the numbers are going to justify the spend. If it's you create a black hole when you're in advertising, marketing, or anything like that. If you have a product or service where the results are not tangible, or they are tangible and they're very low, then you do whatever you can to diffuse them. I hate to say it, but I've seen so many people, especially in my industry, so many companies out there that put out products that you just can't track. So if you're going to put out tracking, you better make sure that the tracking is going to put your product in a good light. Otherwise, you figure out a way to not track it, and you go with intangible. I can't wait to see it either way because it's exciting to me.
Yeah, you make a good point there. That is one of the things that they were saying, that a lot of companies don't want to do business with Twitter right now because they, you can't see what's going on. You don't think that it's going to be, you won't get a return on your investment. And if they can show something and actually help advertisers improve their strategies, that it would be really beneficial for them.
Well,
and even people that aren't paying.
You can do it now, but it's much more difficult.
Yeah, right. Or you have to use third parties, really.
Yeah, I mean, you have to basically, use a combination of your Bitly or whatever, URL shortener you're using in combination with something like, your cloud score, and really see how you're doing in terms of reaching, and who you're reaching exactly. But I mean, I'm really excited about what they're going to offer with this. and really excited to get into it and see how it works, and see where what is considered successful really with Twitter.
I agree with you. I think they've been really slow on this process, but I'm hoping that when they launch it, it's going to be something that's going to be extremely useful.
Yeah.
No, it's going to be.
In Twitter.
Well, let's just hope Dig and Kevin Rose and their engineering team is not behind the launch.
Yes.
I don't think they're involved at all. But Twitter, if you are listening, let us know. We'd love to try this out for you.
We'd love to have you on the show too.
Quick nudge. Yes.
On that note, I'm going to interject a quick curveball, just a 30-second curveball. Nothing to get scared of. Don't worry, Aaron, Ergo, Jeff. Just a quick note. Since the launch of Dig, traffic has dropped 26%.
Has it really?
I know, honestly, I haven't been going there lately. It's just
I haven't
interesting
either.
to me. Yeah.
I haven't.
By the way, I think I had a Social Blade Ergo moment.
Uh-oh.
For those who don't know, we private a Social Blade Ergo moment is where a social media site listens to Ergo, and then they make a change. Like YouTube made a big change after they heard Ergo and stuff like that. So I think I had one with Dig. I wrote a little quick article about please moderate Kevin Rose, and it got like 1,400 digs. And since then, basically starting today, they've been deleting a ton of stories. It's been funny. Like it appears that they're manually deleting them. So including my stories, like every single one of them.
How much increase in
like every single
traffic?
one of them.
How much increase in traffic has Reddit experienced since today?
Well, that's the funny part is that Hitwise was showing. This shows how the data may be skewed. Hitwise was showing 2.6%. Reddit sent their analytics screenshot over, and it showed like huge amounts, like 20-something%.
So those users are shifting over. They're not just being lost completely.
Well, and it seems that not only they're shifting, they're actually staying as well.
Interesting.
Well, that's what shift sort of means. But I mean, for me personally, I used to, for many, many years, I read every headline off of Dig. More recently, in the past couple of weeks, I haven't been going to Dig, and I've been using news.google.com, for example. Or even I've been going to Reddit a little bit as well. But for just getting news,
Reddit's not too bad if you stick to the top.
Yeah. And I've been, in the increasing move to mobile, I've actually, where did my phone go? I've been using just the news app on my phone itself. It has a built-in news app, and I've been just using that also. So,
yeah. Have you got any indication? Have you got any indication of them kind of getting a little squeamy, or, I don't know the right word. You said what?
They realize it. I said at this point they've messed up. They realize it, and they cannot express it publicly.
Oh, you can't. I mean, it's impossible. You cannot do that because it makes you look incompetent, and no one wants to be a part of an incompetent, community or an incompetent company. Yep. So, oh man, I cannot believe. I can't. Yeah. Can you just imagine sitting around that boardroom?
Oh gosh, or not wanting to sit around the boardroom. Guys, I'm going to be going to a faster internet connection now that I'm home. So I'll be off air for about 2 minutes. But in the meantime, there is a company who, unlike Dig, has been making some amazing moves, especially in social media and now on the internet. And they're doing it 36,000 miles or feet. Jeez, I'm an idiot. It is September, episode 59. I am JD Rucker, and it's 36,000 feet.
Yeah, the new International Space Station is providing free Wi-Fi. No, actually, JetBlue has announced that it plans to roll out Wi-Fi for its entire fleet mid-2012. Well, this is an announcement that JetBlue loyalists are really excited about. They're sort of wondering why it's been taking so long for it to roll out, and why it will take until 2012 for it to be available. But what's going to happen is you will be allowed to access the internet at 30,000 feet. The speed of which is kind of up in the air still. They're not sure how quick the Wi-Fi is actually going to be, but you will be able to access the internet online. Ergo, do you know if Virgin Mobile or Virgin Airlines has Wi-Fi?
Yeah, they do. I've used it before myself.
Oh, yeah.
They're definitely not the first one. This is probably the first that is going to be doing it for free. But I mean, Delta and several airlines have been offering Wi-Fi on the plane for a while now.
Delta has a good one. Delta has a really strong Wi-Fi. Like I think, wouldn't that I broadcast Social Blade.
Yeah.
I think I was on Delta.
Yeah, I've used it on Delta and Virgin Atlantic, or America rather.
Anytime I fly, they always like turn everything off. It might interfere. So
The thing that
we
makes
can't
this
do
news
that.
to me, is that they're doing it all across the board. You know, they're the first airline to say, you know what, this isn't just a fad. People are going to actually want this, and they're doing it in a way that I'm hoping, very hopeful, that this will be a strong enough connection to where, because you have to figure by 2012, what's definitely going to be around, you know, for like you have to assume that between laptops and probably more importantly iPads and other tablets, that there's or even just mobile phones, that there's going to be an influx of people who will be able to watch movies and entertain themselves if they have the internet access. They'll be able to entertain themselves via these devices very quickly and easily. And I mean, to me, and I think I even wrote a story about this about a year and a half ago. I said the first airline to do this wins, pretty much. The first airline that says, you know what, universally across the board, you're going to have Wi-Fi if you fly with us. That's the company that's going to win. And like people, I know, I personally, I will not fly anyone else other than JetBlue in 2012 if I can possibly help it.
I don't think that's
game changer.
I don't agree on that. I mean, even when you have to pay for Wi-Fi, it costs usually like $10 or something. And I don't think if the ticket price,
but I think it's free.
Well, no, on JetBlue it will be. They're offering it for free. But I'm saying like if you go Virgin Atlantic or you go Delta, something like that, usually it's like $10-15. If the price of the ticket, if the price of the ticket is going to be $100 more on JetBlue than it is on American or something, you're still going to go for the cheaper ticket price. I don't think the Wi-Fi is going to be a selling point. It'll help if the prices are equal and you're aware.
It'll be interesting the speed of which too.
Hold on, wait. I'm adamant about this. I've got to interrupt whoever. Somebody speak so I can interrupt you real quick. Aaron, say something.
Okay. So yeah.
Okay. No. Listen to me now. JetBlue is cheaper normally than everyone else. Delta, now Virgin does very well, but they don't fly anywhere. And Delta has 3 planes in their entire fleet that are Wi-Fi equipped. For somebody who travels, and trust me on this, Jason. Trust me, I hop on a plane literally at least once or twice a month, every month, and I guarantee you that I will not be the only person who says JetBlue or nothing else. Fly me on JetBlue, do whatever it takes. They won't be more expensive because they've never been. That's part of their entire experience is that they do not have first class. They have nice leather seats, and they don't charge. They don't charge more than other airlines. They're a little bit cheaper in most cases than other airlines, depending upon your destination. So
yeah, but hold on. Have you seen? Yeah, but JD, have you seen the pictures? Like I saw a quick video on CBC television, and it was showing this new way of flying, and the seats are so cramped. But because of that, it's going to be like we're going to be able to fly like super cheap. So I don't know if JetBlue is the only way that they're
it's called Sardine Airways. It's called Sardine Airways. They're already doing it elsewhere, and it will be very popular. It truly will be. I agree. But I mean, there are people that travel based upon when they travel, they're looking at comfort and everything else. And if the price is, would I pay an extra $100 if I'm on a 6-hour flight and I either have Wi-Fi and a comfortable seat or I don't?
Oh yeah, man.
$100.
Yeah, because I mean, if you're going on business, if you got a meeting the next day, you got to be sharp, and that traveling like a sardine is going to take a lot out of you.
Long Beach to Dulles is or let's say Boston. It's a you can fly JetBlue, and it's nonstop. It's a 6-hour flight. Okay, and as a 6-hour flight, hold on, I got to kill my dog real quick. As a 6-hour flight,
great. PETA's going to be after us.
The difference between, let me tell you, the difference between flying JetBlue and currently, even without the Wi-Fi, I mean, JetBlue, even as it is, because they have the free television on every seat, they're already the preferred. As far as I'm concerned, they're already preferred. We already fly JetBlue because it's usually cheaper, more comfortable seats, more room, and more stuff to it because of the television, free television. Add this into the mix, and I would pay extra. Just and I know I'm not the only one. I know there's other avid travelers that who travel even more than me, who will make this decision. Your standard everyday. I hop on a plane once or twice a year. Sure, they'll go for the cheaper route, and that's fine. But there's a reason why JetBlue has been so successful and has shown exponential growth in a industry where everybody else is sinking or dying or dying or sinking.
So,
and it's still September.
So you're in short saying you would pay extra for free Wi-Fi, basically.
How's it free?
Pay extra for comfort, is what he's saying.
Yeah.
For a comfortable travel, yeah.
For comfortable travel,
yeah.
And don't forget, again, JetBlue is normally the same price or cheaper than the competition.
Yeah, JetBlue sounds like a Canadian version here called, and we have some Canadians here, WestJet, where it has we have the free televisions on the back of each seat, and it's cheaper.
You mean they're taped to the back of the seat?
No.
With the antennas coming out? You still doing analog?
Let's not get detail-oriented here, but yeah, I mean, basically, it's really cool, and I prefer to fly that when I'm flying within Canada. So, I mean, because it's cheaper, I get the comfort. But again, if I was doing short flights, like if I was flying from here to Newfoundland, that's only an hour and a half. I can deal with the sardines.
2 hours or less. If there's not enough time for even a movie, I could care less.
Yeah.
I could really care less about where I'm traveling, or I probably would in that case go for the cheaper flight. But business class or first class people, you can't. This is what they're appealing for. This is what they're going after, because keep in mind, JetBlue doesn't have first class. They have one seat. You can get a stretch section, I believe it's called, where you get a little bit more legroom, but you usually don't need it because they already have the most legroom out there. But to answer your question, Jason, yes. If it came down to it, I think definitely I would certainly pay extra to get Wi-Fi. Not a lot extra. I'm not talking like
No, I'm saying for free Wi-Fi as opposed to using Delta or something that still offers
How
Wi-Fi.
is it free, Jason? If you're paying extra, what do you mean by free then?
If you're looking at prices of flights, you go to whatever travel website and you find JetBlue costs this much more than this other one that you'd have to pay for the Wi-Fi. JD was saying that he would be preferring the company that offers free Wi-Fi overall.
Well, let's say if I was flying from here to Ireland.
I wouldn't even be checking, though.
Yeah, he wouldn't check.
As a traveler, all I'm going to do, don't forget, Jason, the majority, I would say probably at least 60% of travelers out there travel via kayak or Travelocity or wherever. About 60% of them will go that direction, and because they're traveling 1, 2, 3, 5 times a year, and that's plenty for them. For the other 40% of business travelers type, it's you pick a carrier, and these are the money people. I mean, not money like as in they pay more money because they usually pay less money for traveling, but these are the people that the airlines covet, because these are the ones that are hopping into a plane 5 times a month, and those are the ones that they have incentives out. You pick a carrier and you go with it because you get the miles.
Right.
And those miles are actually really darn good.
Oh, absolutely.
And so those are the
I'm
that
using.
if you're given the choice between.
I'm using
I have a
free
5%
miles.
chance
I'm
of
using
getting
free miles
Wi-Fi.
this next week to fly anyway. So I'm absolutely. I know about
Yeah.
miles.
So exactly. So if you have the chance, I've got a 5% chance if I go with Delta, I've got a 5% chance of getting a Wi-Fi enabled plane. Or if I go with JetBlue, I've got a 100% chance. Of course, I'm signing up with JetBlue. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I agree with you.
And
Absolutely.
And Virgin would be my prime choice. I would definitely fly Virgin over JetBlue if they were going more places that I wanted to go. You see what I mean? So I'm not saying that JetBlue is the best. I'm saying that they're for my needs, they're the best for me.
They're actually starting to customize towards what consumers are needing in their daily life. And I mean, when you think about social media, people want to spend time on Facebook when they're on long flights. They want to be able to access Twitter. So not just from their phones either. They want to go, because I mean, I hate accessing Twitter or Facebook from my phone. But and for business wise as well, it's a smart move all around, in my opinion. So
why does it always have to be about you, Aaron? You should really learn how to promote yourself more gracefully. I'm serious. This is, every time she talks, it's like, I would do this and I would do that. Aaron, I. I'm just kidding.
Wait, isn't that what I was saying to Ergo? There is. A lot of people, that are in the music industry, and this is the article I'm basing it on. It's a CNN article. And a lot of people within the music industry, they're so used to using MySpace that it's like, I don't really know how else to promote myself. And, a lot of people that are starting out on social media are like, what am I supposed to do? I really don't want to have to talk about myself and pretty much try to get people to believe that I'm doing something that is worth their time. And so, they want to find out different ways. And what they offer here are simple ways that you might already be doing, but you want to do it gracefully, like JD said. So what you want to do is basically start out with your friends and family, the simple way. Don't think about the internet as a whole. Start out with your friends and family and start it out via email. And so you email them and give them something to give you back. Don't just say, what do you guys think? Give them let me know what I can improve on. Is there something that you would suggest? Something like that makes it personal for them to want to answer back. Because, family and friends sometimes will be brutally honest and sometimes they won't be. But that's why they say start with your family and friends. Once they do give you feedback, they say, why don't you then publicly thank them? So that's when you would integrate Facebook and Twitter. And, if you are a musician and you choose to still use MySpace as well. So a public forum to thank them. So that's when you can also utilize, posting the link of what they were referring to as well as the quote of what they suggested. And then also they talk about newsletters. So, I mean, newsletters, a lot of people like to do them, but if you're doing a newsletter weekly or even sometimes daily, it's not a smart move if there's really nothing going on. So you want to pick a schedule that, is going to be appropriate for the type of thing that you are wanting to promote, whether it is music, whether it's your online store, whether it's your blog, anything like that. You want to be able to make sure that when you send out a newsletter that there's actual news in it. So pick a schedule that is appropriate to what you're talking about. And, a lot of people fall into let's do it once a week newsletter, and it's not fitting to what you're talking about. So those are the types of things that they suggest. I want to know what we suggest. So I'm going to start with you, Jeff. What do you suggest for people to promote gracefully online?
The biggest thing is when you're talking about your you really, when you're talking about yourself, you can't make it about yourself. So for instance, when you're writing about you need to post things as yous and we's and ours. So when you're promoting your stuff, it needs to be published or displayed in a way where it encompasses everyone. Like for instance, I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but you don't use eyes. Like eyes is the worst. But try to make other people relate to you is the best way to do it. If you're doing something great, show that you're doing it great, but try to make other people relate to it. And there's definitely tasteful ways to do that.
Yeah, I mean, if you even notice, I mean, most blogs, even status updates from a business perspective, it always ends with a question. And that's a smart move. So even when you're reading articles now online, even with the big guns out there, they're ending their blogs with questions. So it turns it on to you. It's kind of like playing tag a little bit. JD, what were you going to say?
Yeah.
I was just thinking, I thought I heard Jeff say use and weave, right?
Yeah.
So like what are you guys gonna do? These are gonna...
No, but I read something. I think a couple months ago talking about this is out for Twitter. Tweets that have like use, we's, and ours are retweeted more than tweets that have I's in them, because people don't relate to that, and people don't want to like promote, don't want to really encourage that type of publishing. I mean, you have to really, when you're promoting yourself, really make it, what is in it for me? Why am I reading your promotion? What is in it for me or my surrounding community? And if you just keep doing eyes, and eyes, you're just going to be talking to yourself.
True.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to cut you off. Like when I write sometimes for Social Blade about experiences that I have, I try to put it in a way that the reader can relate to, by posing questions about the larger picture, about and asking what can we do differently, how would you handle this differently, not I did this, look at me and all in X, Y, and Z.
I definitely agree with you on the asking questions and bringing the viewer or the reader or whatever into the picture and getting them involved with it. But I wouldn't say completely take yourself out, because people do also want to, if you're interacting with someone or reading something, you want to, especially if it's an opinion type of a thing, you want that experience and that connection there as well. But I totally, definitely agree that you want to ask the questions and in some way or another identify as, I see Tammy saying there, I see the word, you want to have the person be able to identify with you to bring them in, get them on the same level as you there. Beyond that, just in general, I agree with that article there saying also don't say things just for the sake of saying something. You
Right.
want to abuse your connection with people. Keep it relevant, and I mean, if it's humorous, that's fine as well. But don't just say, "Okay, I'm going to the bathroom," or something like that. I'm getting food. People hate just like that. If you have something really interesting to say
like
it.
something that's going on in the business, something that you're promoting, something that you're going to give away, that kind of thing. But what Jeff's talking about, I completely agree, because you can give your opinion without saying the word I. It's what I like to call social writing.
Well, hold on. It's
what
I like to call social writing.
This is a good example. Say I go to this high-end restaurant, this really expensive restaurant that sells like $300 steaks.
By the way, you're also saying I right there. Just
yeah, exactly. It'll help. This doesn't take away from my point, but so let's say I get a $300 steak.
You what? Who got the steak?
Excuse me for 1 second.
Sorry.
So I say I buy a $300 steak, and I tweet, I just bought a $300 steak. Okay. Now you go to the same restaurant and you buy that $300 steak, but you tweet, this is what a steak should look like. You will be more retweeted. Your post will be more retweeted than mine, because people can relate to that, other than me saying, "Oh, look at me! I just bought a $300 steak." Does that make sense?
I totally agree. Absolutely.
Sorry, I want to know. It took me a while to come up with it.
It's brilliant. No, let's ask the audience though. Ergo, put up a quick poll and ask them: Do you find it more that you get more response when you put I or when you put we, or you like social writing type of thing? Put something up like that. I want to know what the audience thinks, because I mean, I notice for my own self, when I say a lot of I's in something, I don't get a lot of responses. But when I tweak it to be more social, people respond better. That's my experience, and that's Jeff's experience. and you're saying, don't, ergo, you're saying don't somewhat take it out. What do you think, JD? Well, silence is golden, really.
Wait, say it again, please.
Can you hear me?
We hear you now.
Can you hear me now?
Much better, yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we hear you much better. Go ahead, JD.
I'm sorry about that. I was going to say that I think that it took us 59 episodes for Ergo to be wrong twice. In the same one. I was on Ergo's side about 2 minutes ago, but by golly, Jeff and Aaron's impassioned and compelling argument is I'm never going to say I again. I'm always going to refer to myself as a we from now on.
Or JD.
We.
Refer to yourself in the third person. JD Rucker
JD.
just bought a $300 steak.
JD bought a steak.
JD's getting free Wi-Fi on JetBlue.
So we did the poll, and 54% or 55% will say we is better, but the other half are either undecided or it doesn't matter. So it's half the people agree with me as well, or a little less than half.
A little less.
I mean, I do not respond well to people who...
No one says I, though, just plain out I.
If you keep promoting yourself, it becomes really self-serving, especially if you're promoting products, and it just you get totally turned off.
With that said, I mean, Ergo is somewhat right. I mean, you can do it sometimes. We're talking about the majority of the time. You want to make sure that you're having the people that you're trying to reach out to feel like they're incorporated in what you're talking about. So the best way to do that is by removing the I from the conversation. And once you do that, then they feel like they're a part of the process. But that doesn't mean that on some levels you can, especially with YouTube, if you're creating a video, you can use I because they get to see you. And that's a totally different realm. Because they get to see you, they can already relate to you on a personal level because they see your face, your facial expressions. In a writing format, they don't get to see who you are.
I guess it depends. Okay. You're right. Yeah, it depends on where you're coming from.
Using the I to reference status or to reference being, better than someone is looked down upon. But if I were to tweet something like, my dog died, I got rear-ended, and I lost my job, I'm having a terrible day, I think that, something along that lines would generate response and generate, I can relate to that. Oh, I got rear-ended today too, and I lost my job. So it really is, okay, are you using this promotion to be self-serving, such as, hey guys, look how much I make, I'm eating $300 meat, and I'm going to these fancy restaurants, or are you, just using it to invoke conversation and humble yourself? I think sometimes...
We actually got a really good... I'm just reading the chat here. Mike brings up a good point. Over time, it becomes obvious and less sincere. He's referring to asking questions and whatnot. Mashable asks a question every time after an article, and it's just starting to come off like a cheap trick. What do you think about that?
No, I mean, I understand completely what Mike's talking about, and I do think Mashable does that. It overdoes it. But we're saying is you don't always have to ask questions at the end of it. Just incorporating and getting your message to really what's the word I'm looking for? Relate, obviously. To getting people to relate to your messages is the best thing. And people don't relate really well to eyes unless there are things that they've experienced themselves.
Well, that's the thing. That's what I mean. Like when I say, once in a while, if you're talking about, oh, my dog just died, I just got, canned, that kind of thing. People can relate to that on a sympathetic, empathetic level because they've been through bad times themselves. That's the story of life. But what Mike's saying here in regards to Mashable, I know from my standpoint, when I write for blogs, I personally like putting a question at the end, and it's not because I'm trying to be manipulative. I really truly want that question answered because it's not about, just, oh, okay, I'm here going to talk about what I know. I want to know your feedback. I want to know how you feel about the story that I just took time to write. And I can't speak on behalf of Mashable, but at the same time, I appreciate it. I don't always comment. I'll tell you that much, but I appreciate that they take the time to ask that question to their audience, because that's when the connection, even if it feels manipulative, when someone's just posting a blog and it's just out there, you're not feeling a real connection. I'm going to be honest, I don't.
Well, okay. Well, then that means, I mean, we all, here in the Social Blade, Aaron, myself, I've just started blogging. I'm just starting to get into sharing my thoughts with others and really finding, what I want to share. But in Mashables, in that respect, I am going to ask questions. I am going to inquire, feedback so I can help, shape the messages that I am getting out there. But in Mashable's case, yeah.
We have some.
As soon as you're done with some breaking news.
Okay. Well, break it.
No.
This
okay.
Good.
Well, in Mashable's case, if you look at a CNN article, other than Pete Cashmore's column, and any of the major news, like the New York Times, the articles are so well written that they generate responses because the article has been written in a way that promotes discussion. Mashable's case, they tend to take articles that have been brought from other sources, a lot of the time, and just write 2 or 3 articles that are of little to no substance, and then posing the question at the end to garner the responses from that. So in Mashable's case, there's no real meat in the actual content that they have. It's just the question is what they're trying to say the beat is.
Alanti Trek in the audience says 100% correct. With an occasional question and personal opinions and perspectives, you will not garner interaction and community. And I think that's basically a great way to sum up what we were trying to say.
Nice. Can you guys hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Very great.
Okay. Cool. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say crap on the air. Yes, I agree. Guys, great discussion there. I hate to break in there with some breaking news, but do we have any breaking news music?
No. Go ahead.
We have breaking news text.
I do. Give me a second, and I can get it.
Just go with it, JD.
We got to go with a second. Come on.
Too late. The breaking news is this: Ergo wins.
What?
I win what?
Ergo wins. Just got word from dig.com that they have caved to Ergo's demands. They heard that he was no longer coming to the site, so they went ahead and brought pagination back.
Did they really?
Oh, wow.
We no longer have.
Ooh, they did. Look at that.
Page 2, page 3. Now, it's a funky interface, by golly. Funky interface. But officially now, they're pagination on dig.com. Thanks, Ergo. Way to go, Jay.
Ergo, didn't you write to them and tweet at them or something? Ask for that specifically?
I did that back in April. And they finally just did. Well,
they're slow movers.
Yeah. And wow, you're right. It is. Wow, it's horrible. If you look at the URL, let me bring that down again. Yeah.
Oh, not just that. I'm looking at one in particular where it didn't render right. So like half of the top story is missing and half of the bottom story is missing. It's not good, but it's better. It's better. And if you want to go to the page, all you have to do is push 1, 2, 3, 4. So if you want to go to the URL, it's a page forward upcoming right now. Our breaking news sound, that's awesome. Breaking news.
Yeah.
The URL is dig.com/upcoming pound filter for HR semicolon page colon 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's to get to page 6. That's awesome. But it's a start. It's Ergo. It's not improvement. It's Ergo proof.
It definitely is a start there. So I commend them on that for sure.
Yeah, this is good stuff.
All right.
So
no, I didn't mean to interrupt, Jeff. Great job there with that story. That's epic.
Yeah.
I was about to say that I liked it, but I'm going to say
we like it.
We just heard an incredible argument by Jeff Kreider and Aaron Ryan, and Ergo and I are humbly humbled. We are.
Yeah. There were definitely a lot of words in your arguments there. So good job with the arguments. Another
Yeah, no,
place,
strong. I like
another
it.
place though that you can actually use words is on YouTube, and specifically. Yeah, it was a reach. I'm sorry.
It was smooth. It was smooth like peanut butter. Go on.
It was
But-
Never mind.
Yes, on YouTube, and obviously you speak words, but there's actually a lot of words behind the scenes. Whenever you upload a video on YouTube, there's these little boxes you got to fill out. Obviously, there's a title. Everyone knows about the title, but YouTube really wanted to bring attention to the other places where you can put words because they actually really help you out quite a bit. And if you're trying to get your videos viewed, they really recommend that you fill these out to the fullest extent. So in general, you have your titles when you upload a video on there. They recommend putting a very interesting title with as many words as possible that catch the reader's attention or the viewer's attention. But they also recommend the description box on here to fill out as much of this as possible. Write absolutely everything about the video that you're doing. If you have if you're doing like a recipe or something like that, type out the entire recipe there. Or if you're reviewing products, write your product review. Do a text transcription of it there as well. It really helps. You have 5,000 words, or characters rather, and they recommend using as many of those as possible. In the tag section, this is sort of relevant to old school web pages. You have to put all your keywords in there, and this is the same type of thing. You have to put as many relevant keywords to your video as possible there. And you see from the example on the screen here, use multiple ways of even saying the same thing here. So partner support, you can use quotations. Wow. You can use quotations if you're putting a word together, and if you want to have a specific phrase. And really, as many as you can. You have 120 characters in this location, and they recommend filling it up as best as you can. However, you don't want to fill it up with useless things. It really should be relevant things. YouTube actually also provides some tools here. They have a keyword tool, so I'm just going to type in social media here. So if you don't know what keywords you should use, if you use their keyword tool, it'll give you some examples and tell you sort of, at least with some of them, how many monthly searches there are for that. So you know what you'll get a lot of data from in keywords you should use. So social media,
That's
social
awesome.
network gets quite a lot of traffic. So that might be a good keyword you should use if you're doing a video about social media. Apparently HTC Incredible is also relevant to that. I'm not exactly sure why, but connect. And so you have to look through it, and here's a really good one. I don't know why it's there. Eminem apparently is related, but obviously not all of these are really related, and you don't want to just throw them in for for the sake of throwing them in. But it's a useful tool to decide what best to use. They also have Google Insights for search, which you can do the same type of thing there and sort of find out what people are searching on around the world and get sort of a graphical picture of where these words are popular to help you, fill out the data on there. But absolutely, don't just upload a video without any tags. All the boxes they recommend filling out to as best as you can and go up to the limits, and it really will help you not only with people finding in search, but also with the related videos. If someone else has a video on a topic related to what you're talking about, if the keywords aren't there, they won't match it up. If they are, you'll get matched up. And if you're a partner on YouTube, they'll match up advertisers with you. So if you're talking about social media, the Facebook movie, the Social Network ad might play on there, and you'll get relevant ads as well.
And Google also picks that up.
Well, Google picks it up. You mean?
Oh yeah,
Google
they love
search.
videos.
Yeah, they love it.
Yeah, that's correct too.
So yeah, keywords
But-
and descriptions are very key.
Very key. But at the same time, make sure that it's relevant to the video.
Don't keyword stuff.
Yeah, just don't stuff it full of keywords that you might think would be related to another video.
Right, because YouTube, they say also that they do determine if you are doing that, and their algorithm will punish you. You'll get a lot of hits at the beginning, but you'll get punished, and you'll be less likely to show up if you do that too often.
Punish.
Yeah.
Such a harsh word.
I know, seriously. Like, sit me
That's-
in the corner.
That's their word
YouTube
specifically. They say our algorithm will catch on and punish you for spam.
They should have put smite you.
Smite you.
Mike, you'll be smitten.
You'll be smitten upon the YouTube rock face.
Yes, indeed.
So I know
Awesome.
definitely I'm going to be using their new tool when I upload Social Blade to YouTube on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/socialblade. So,
Well, you
I
know who
recommend
else
everyone
uses YouTube?
who else uses YouTube?
Generation X. Forrester Research just released their annual survey of American technology, and this time it focused more on generational divide. The findings, which arose from a survey of over 37,000 participants, reveal that when it comes to the adoption of digital tools and technology, the generation gap still exists, with Generation Xers and Yers far ahead of both boomers and seniors. The report delves into everything from mobile use to media consumption and PCs to social networking. The takeaway is that Generation Y, also known as millennials, they live and breathe a digital social life. Generation Xers are masters of the functional benefits of technology, but those older are much more reserved in all of the areas. Some of the main findings that came out of this study were in devices. In devices section, the millennials, Generation X, leads the pack. Devices included HD TVs, digital cameras, PCs, gaming systems such as PS3 or Xbox. They also tend to use the majority of their time to surf the internet instead of shopping and looking for items. In terms of mobile, they found that Generation Y is the leader. 85% of Generation Y sends and receives text messages, while 68% of Generation X does the same, and only 15% of seniors uses SMS. 37% of Generation Y surfs the mobile web. Mobile Facebooking is also more popular with Generation Y, with 27% participation, compared with 18% of Generation X. Seniors on Facebook, supposedly a growing trend on the desktop, is not so prevalent on the mobile phone. Very interesting trend is online usage. As I said earlier, Generation Y tends to surf more, while Generation X and Boomers tend to use the internet to shop, while getting a majority of their media consumption from more traditional means. They also named the e-readers as device of the year, but found that very few people are actually using them. They forecasted.
Like
say
iPad,
again.
An e-reader like an iPad? Do you mean?
Like a Kindle.
Like Kindle. Right.
Yeah, I don't know if do we consider iPad as an e-reader or more of a what's the word?
I think Apple would at least, but the Kindle at least definitely. Okay.
Yeah.
Those type of devices that you mean? Okay.
Yeah. They found that they forecasted that 6.6 million people will buy an e-reader by year end. 8.3 million will buy a netbook or mini PC in that same time frame. So they haven't really taken off too much. Netbook and mini PC purchases outpaced e-reader sales, or will outpace e-reader sales until 2014, when both slow to 1% growth rates. Laptops will also decline to 2% growth in 2014. This is what they're forecasting. Their conclusion is that Generation X and Y are definitely outpaying the others in terms of technology consumption and technology adoption. They concluded that both the generations are setting the example of how future digitally native generations will live, with both generations outpacing boomers and seniors on almost every technology-related level. The finding is pretty extensive. I'll post the link to the story that was from Read Write Web into the chat room so you guys can take a look at it. Are you guys surprised with any of the findings? Or is it pretty much down the alley?
Right on.
Honestly, there's a lot of numbers there. I'm gonna have to take a look at it again myself.
There's a bunch of quantitative data.
Yeah, but I mean, in general, not really surprising.
No.
Shocking.
Yeah.
What'll be interesting to see is the media consumption habits of the next generation, and how their need to consume so much information and data, how that will shape the mobile industry, and how it will shape just social media and how we get our news and information. It's gonna be really cool to see what happens.
I'm not surprised, but I'm kind of annoyed with e-readers. And I know Jason, he likes to listen to his books. I don't know what's wrong with just sitting down with an old-fashioned book. I hope that kids are going to be able to still do that in the future, because I just think it's so, I don't know, it's a me thing, and I'm making it about.
I completely agree. I mean, there's sometimes, you spend all your time on the internet, and you spend all your time, watching television, on your Xbox and etc. Sometimes it's just good to take a break, just go out, sit on the patio and just with a book, and
or an e-reader.
What?
Or an e-reader.
No, see, that's the thing. I think everything shouldn't be, and I mean, I'm for digital and I'm for all that, but I think in a sense, everything shouldn't be on an electronic. I think it should be, there needs to still be some of those other things, and I think reading is certainly one of them. And I mean, I'm not putting down those that have e-readers by any means, but at the same time, I do think it's important, when it comes to reading, especially for the younger generation, to feel a real book in their hands and understand that, turning the pages and just feeling, just feeling the pages is different than just tapping a screen.
Yeah, putting it on your shelf. Putting it on your shelf. Like
one thing when I
get older, I want to have a library where I can put all the books that I've ever read on the shelf, and it's like a trophy.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things that just annoy me, that more people are buying them. But according to the study that you read, it's saying that even though they're buying them, it doesn't mean that they're using them. And so I'm hoping that that the sales, no offense, goes down and people are still sticking to books. Even you, Jason, with you listening to books. I mean, it's so important, in a sense, I would go for an e-reader more than I would go for listening to audiobooks, just because it's important to read the words, because that helps you with spelling, it helps you with grammar, it helps you with learning new words. I think that's important. So I would do that even before. I'm killing you.
I read lots. I listen to audiobooks, yes, but I do read lots on the internet as well, news and whatnot. I mean,
it's on the internet. Do you know what I'm saying?
Dude, there's nothing that replaces, reading, Lord of the Rings, getting captured in the lore of Middle Earth, and just reading, fictional books. You don't have to be captured. Jump into it.
You don't have to be captured with the paper, though. I mean, you can still. I would say even audio is even more immersive.
I disagree.
I disagree.
I'm just saying. I just wish, and I'm sorry, Dave. I know you're listening. Cover your ears. But I'm just saying that as much as I love technical things, I still think that there needs to be some things that are left untouched, and reading and books is one of them, in my opinion.
I'm not arguing that there should not be regular books. I'm just saying, I show you, I have regular books as well. I'm just saying for the general experience, I personally prefer the spoken audio. And I mean, stories in general, that's the history of them. Hold on. From stories back into ancient times, I mean, the spoken word is how stories are really supposed to be told. Books are really the archaic form. I mean, it's easy to transmit them, but spoken, I think, is ideal.
I just like having a physical thing in front of me that I can reread and go over, flip through the pages, bend them.
Yeah, and it separates you from that.
Keep in mind, Shakespeare had a quill and parchment when he was writing his stuff, but when he went to read, he actually used an iPad to read stuff.
What?
That's a fact. I just
So-
looked at the sun.
The reason why I'm picking on books is, and that's just an example. I just think that we sometimes do get lost in the world of the internet and electronics, like the Xbox or Nintendo Wii or whatever else that intrigues you. But I think there still needs to be things that are untouchable, that you can go out and separate yourself and relax and disconnect a little bit. And I don't know why I'm saying this, but at the same time, I use books as the example.
I'm not saying that I don't think that they should be destroyed or anything like that. I'm saying there should be both, and there is both, and I think both will continue.
For now, I'm afraid for the children of the future.
I don't think
that's what I'm talking.
Ergo, I bet you're one of those people that goes to their local grocery store and picks up the $2, vampire romance novel. You know what I'm talking about? That you find there next to the magazines. The day read?
No.
The day read?
No. Sorry.
We never know. He might do it as a YouTube video.
JD.
Yes.
Where does paper come from?
Paper comes from initially it came from paper trees, but then they actually ran out of those. They became extinct in the 1400s, so they actually had to use trees themselves to turn into paper. And as a result, the trees were going down. We started losing the trees, and that's an unfortunate thing. But the trees started fighting back. There's currently a campaign going on with trees, where the one tree in particular is leading the way. He's getting on social media, he's getting on Facebook, Twitter, and he's pushing his cause. He's do we have a video of this tree?
It's playing.
Jason?
It's playing.
Oh, excellent. So yes, here he's anonymous, but for the sake of having a name for this tree, we'll call this tree Mr. Baby Tree. So Mr. Baby Tree is on social media after being watching his brethren burned and killed for the sake of making paper. He decided, you know what, if I can't get people like Aaron and Jeff to stop killing trees and to start buying iPads and Kindles, then by golly, I'm going to get the world to know about it by going on Facebook and pleading my case. And that's exactly what's happened. This tree is on Facebook. He's 100 years old. Mr. Baby Tree is in your face. Okay, he's tweeting. He's in your tweets. All your base belong to him. That's how he rolls.
And he is rooted in the cause, isn't he?
He is deeply rooted in the cause.
Oh.
His last. I'm looking at his last tweet. His last tweet is actually at Jeff. It says, "Why don't you make like a tree and get out of here?"
Actually, it's actually having a nice sip of water, but good try.
Yeah, close enough. So anyway, this tree is set up by EOS with all kinds of sensors. He's on Flickr, taking pictures, posting audio, posting every little nook and cranny of the forest around him, and basically demonstrating a quote unquote mood based upon this. It's pretty interesting stuff.
Hold on.
I can't see the video.
Go back to his Twitter. It's showing that he is following one other person or tree back.
Yes.
On his Twitter.
He's a diva tree. But I mean, when you're 100 years old, I'm sorry, you can follow just one person. Just follow your little grand tree, and that's good enough. Other people will follow you just because you're so darn interesting. He's paid his dues. He was there for the Civil War of trees back in the 1900s. So give him a break.
Feed, and it is looking like the wrong way to utilize social media. I don't know what you guys think, because I mean, he's not even replying anyone.
And he's using I a lot. I know it's very very self-centered. Diva Tree, Mr. Baby Tree is not a very good self-promoter. He needs to go on MySpace.
Yeah, he should go on MySpace him and say that we've named you Mr. Baby Tree.
See, and they also made a mistake because they call it the EOS because it's EOS is the company. The EOS Talking Tree, but the way, if you read it wrong, it looks like
Stalking
EO stalking
Yeah.
tree.
Yeah.
It's like
That's what
this
I was.
guy's in your backyard. You know, he's really tall, so he can watch you changing your second store window and everything. It's creepy tree, Mr. Baby Tree the Stalker. But he is Facebook savvy. You should get AdBlock Plus, by the way, Ergo, so that we don't have to look at stuff like that. But just FYI. So let's play that video again.
Him with different sensors and devices, so he can share with us what he feels, sees, and hears. Data from all those devices to custom software. The software then analyzes all this data and determines how our tree feels. Those feelings are then translated by our software into words on Facebook and Twitter, video on YouTube, images on Flickr, and sounds on SoundCloud. Follow the tree's daily life on talkingtree.com.
So it actually is all automatic from the sensors they have there. That's pretty cool.
That is kind of cool.
Yeah, but he
You know,
doesn't
Tina
reply.
says,
As soon as I can, I'm going to be hopping on Twitter, and I'm going to send Mr. Baby Tree a message. It is EO Stalking Tree. It's EO Stalking Tree is the Twitter handle, twitter.com/EO Stalking Tree. And send him a message. Let him know that you're not happy with his message. You know, this whole environment thing is getting a little bit out of hand. I think we've proven that there's no global warming, right? Oh wait, that's a different show. Sorry. No, but yeah, no. It's cute. It's a publicity stunt. Here, this company is getting some good play, and I think it's clever. I know that you don't like it, Aaron, but it's to me, it's like, okay,
why
novelty
did you say I
fun.
don't like it? Why did you assume I don't like it?
You were saying earlier you didn't like it.
I did not say that.
Did she not just say that, guys?
I think
Just because I said that I would like to have real books doesn't mean I'm a tree killer.
No. What I'm saying is, you said you were against, like, you thought it was silly for the tree you didn't like the campaign or something. I thought, am I going crazy here?
I think you're going crazy because
I went crazy, didn't I?
I like it.
No,
you did.
She said
You
she
went-
hated it.
Oh, stop it, Jeff. Now you're lying. You're going crazy. I think it's a great campaign. That's my real opinion about it. I never said I didn't like it. I think it's cute, but I think that at the same time, it's like you said, a publicity stunt. Although you got to give them credit. They're using creativity and they're stepping outside of the box, and it's working for them. So I'm going to go and find myself a tree tomorrow, and I think I'm going to call it DJ Trucker and do a YouTube video about it. Maybe? You think?
I think that would be good. I think it'd be a benefit. Somebody should tweet at it that it should join Dig.
Yes.
Notice there was no
Dig.
punchline. That was the punchline. No, I'm just teasing Kevin. So yeah, this is cool. I like it. Great work there, EOS. Good little viral campaign. And with that, I believe we have come to the end of another episode until October. Well, no, we got one more in September. Damn it, I'm gonna mess that one up too. Oh well, we'll see what we can do. I want to thank our guest, EOS Stalker Tree. Thank you for coming on the show and just talking to yourself and not listening to us. That's fine. Thank you to our wonderful audience. You guys were very interactive and it was encouraging to see that you agreed with everything that I agreed with. As far as in the poll questions, love y'all. Don't forget, you've got 2 days. We need a logo. You have it. It's embedded in your brain. Now take it from your brain, put it into paper. No, you know what? Don't put it on the paper because we don't kill trees here at Social Blade Show. Put it digitally somewhere, and send it to us, and we will be giving stuff away. I believe.
Yes,
deadline
we
for that is
will.
September 25th.
That's right, which is Saturday. But before you wrap this up, I have to say, Alante Trek has summed up the show quite well. He said, "What I learned today: JD hates Zuckerberg but loves JetBlue. Jeff loves Hans Zimmer rather. Aaron is afraid for the children of our future. William Shakespeare used an iPad."
Oh, I thought that said Aaron is afraid of the children at first.
Dude, not afraid of the children.
Now
Well,
that's me. I'm
thank you
afraid
for
of the
wrapping
children of
up.
the future. Scary, scary stuff. Well, thank you. That was excellently summed up, and that pretty much. I mean, I shouldn't have to say anything else, but I will. Make sure that if you are on social media, and if you're watching the show, you probably are. Go to twitter.com, facebook.com, youtube.com. Slap a social blade at the end of that, right after the /, and you'll find our pages. Follow us, fan us, subscribe to us, send us quirky little comments. Make fun of us, whatever it takes for you to be involved. You can always go to our blog, which is at socialblade.com/show currently. Hint, hint, towards the future.
Ooh.
Suggest a guest from there, and you can also view our past guests as well as read our social media, Social Blade style posts written by several of the wonderful and awesome people. You can also talk about contributing via there, or just contact Aaron Ryan or Ergo or Jeff. Probably not me because I don't answer my emails. I'd like to thank lightspeednow.com, sponsor that's going to be helping us by getting us some cameras for Blog World. We're going to Blog World in October. Aaron, we're trying to get Ergo out there, but Aaron's going to be there. I believe Jeff is going to catch the tail end of it, and then so we'll be in Vegas. We won't be gambling. We'll be taking videos of anything that's social media related and putting it on the interwebs. So make sure to visit lightspeednow.com, our wonderful sponsor. You can always sign up for SMS alerts. Just go to j.mt/subus, SUBUS, j.mt/subus, and sign up for shows such as the wonderful Social Blade Show, the amazing Ask Outcast, which is Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern, the quirky and offbeat mention, or the band on the web, which is Tuesday at 10 p.m. Eastern, and the cerebral and Mr. Baby Man ran the Drill Down Show, which is Wednesdays at 9:30 p.m. Eastern. We love you all, and remember that today, yesterday, and in the future, we are, will, and always will be Social Blade.